I want to apologize for what my mother did to you. My mother shouldn't have tattooed on you about the inappropriate naked pictures. Next time my mother should have kept that private. She should have. She should have kept that to herself. And I punished her for it. And I did. My mother shouldn't have got you in trouble with Maddie. That's why Maddie was in my business the whole time. That's because my mother told her about it on her cell phone. But that wasn't very smart what my mother did, but telling your mother on you. By getting you in trouble with her. I don't mean for that to happen, sweetheart. Okay. Make sure she doesn't do it again. I'll make sure she doesn't. Next time she does that again, I will definitely get upset with her. And she totally freaked out and flipped out about the FaceTime. That's why. She made a big deal out of it. All that stupid stuff you did on FaceTime. Not aiming the camera right. But not aiming the camera to my face. You were aiming it to the ceiling. Light. I can't believe my mother made a big deal about the camera. My mother should have left you alone with it. Okay. She made it into a problem with the camera, and I know she did. But that wasn't very smart to have her telling you like that. That wasn't very nice what my mother did. I don't know why she did that in the first place. And I'm sorry why my mother yelled at you about the FaceTime stuff. Okay. She shouldn't have yelled at you over that. That was wrong. She actually yelled at you over a camera. She made it to a fuss over the angle of the camera. You weren't angling it right. You're aiming to the ceiling light. In your window. That's why. That's why my mother made it to a fuss over that, sweetheart. She made it into an issue over that. I'm sorry about that, okay? My mother shouldn't have yelled at you over that. She shouldn't have. And I know my mother shouldn't have told your mother, Maddie, why you took your clothes off on FaceTime. How did my mother know about that? Because it was me that told her. I was the one that made a big deal out of it. It was me that told my mother about it. I had to drag her in the middle. I had to. Because you're doing stupid stuff. That's what you're doing on FaceTime. And see, that's how you got your FaceTime taken away from your mother. Your mother's in my business. It's because Maddie's in my business about the Facebook. Because my mother told her about that. That's why. She shouldn't went behind my back and did that anyway. That was stupid what my mother did. My mother actually told Maddie about me taking my clothes off on FaceTime. Even though I'm not supposed to do that. That's how I got my FaceTime taken away, sweetheart. And first of all, I wasn't supposed to take my clothes off. I should have kept my clothes on. Should have done that in private. And I didn't do that. She yelled at me because I had to take my underwear off in front of you. I should have thought about that before I did that. I was flinging my bra at you. And I didn't. I was flinging my underwear so you can see it. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. That's why she dragged Maddie into this mess. But next time she should have came to me first before she talked to Maddie about it. She went behind my back and told Maddie anyway. She tattletale on you and she tattletale on me. on both of us. I didn't know you're not supposed to take off your clothes on FaceTime. I didn't know that was a rule. I didn't know that on FaceTime we're not supposed to get undressed in front of each other. I didn't know. And I got in trouble and punished why I took pictures of you naked. I shouldn't have kept them. That's why my mom told me to erase them off. And because I showed it to her, that's why. I already showed it to my mother and I got in big trouble. I shouldn't have hid it from my mother like that. I should have thought about that before I showed it to my mother. Okay. Ah, it still hurts. That's why my mother's in your business, Shreya, because that was my mother that told your mother about that. Maddie had to get into our business was because it was my mother that told her. That's why. My mother shouldn't have told her anything. She should, instead of telling Maddie, she should have came to me for all that. And she didn't. I make sure she doesn't do that again. I promise, okay?